Thanks for joining us for CBN News Today. I'm Charlene Aaron. The U.S. government says it has finally captured the mastermind behind the deadly 2012 attack on the American consulate in Benghazi, Libya. But many are now asking what took them so long. Dale Hurd explains why.
Ahmed Abu Khattala had been wanted by the U.S. for 21 months before U.S. Special Forces finally captured him.
No matter how long it takes, we will find those responsible and we will bring them to justice.
And it took a long time to find a suspect who was described by CNN as hiding in plain sight. Khattala had done at least 5 news interviews with CNN and other agencies before American leaders decided to finally move in and nab him.
If a CNN reporter can have an interview with him openly in a cafe, why couldn't we get to him sooner?
One excuse from Pentagon spokesman John Kirby was that terrorists go to great lengths to evade capture. It can be a complicated process trying to get at them. But it wasn't complicated at all for reporters to get to Khattala. Another excuse put forward by the White House is that the capture was delayed after public outrage in Libya over this video of the capture of another accused terrorist in Tripoli last October. Republican leaders are concerned with not only how long it took the administration to capture Khattala, but what they'll do with him next.
He needs to be interrogated extensively, and I hope that will occur. There has been a tendency in this administration, as you know, to treat this like a law enforcement matter. Read them their rights and get them a lawyer. I hope they're not doing that.
U.S. Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans were killed in the attack on the consulate in 2012. The Obama administration has also named about a dozen other suspects. Judging by how long it took to apprehend Khattala, who walked freely through the streets of Libya, it could be a long time, if ever, before all of the other suspects are brought to justice. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Republicans in Congress aren't taking no for an answer in the IRS Tea Party targeting scandal. House Republicans are stepping up their probe into the IRS scandal after the tax agency said it lost more than 2 years of emails that are a key part of the investigation. House Oversight Committee Chairman Darrell Issa told IRS Commissioner John Koskinen, quote, "I will not tolerate your continued obstruction and game playing in response to the committee's investigation." The IRS commissioner says he will testify before 2 committee hearings about the emails next week. President Obama is praising his own executive order that will provide new protections for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender workers. The new order would bar federal contractors from discriminating against anyone based on sexual orientation and gender identity. The president attended an LGBT gala in New York City last night, where the belle of the ball was his new order.
You know, sometimes you guys were a little impatient. Sometimes I had to say, will you just settle down for a second? We've got this. But because of your help, we've been able to do more to protect the rights of lesbian, gay, and bisexual and transgender Americans than any administration in history.
Obama urged those in attendance to pressure Congress to pass legislation that would extend more protections to the LGBT community. The Employment Non-Discrimination Act passed in the Senate last month, but has stalled in the House. Islamic radicals are taking even more ground in northern Iraq. A top security official says the Sunni jihadists have now laid siege to Iraq's largest oil refinery, 155 miles north of Baghdad. Overnight, the Islamist group known as ISIS began attacking the refinery with mortar shells. The siege is threatening Iraq's domestic energy supplies. Kurdish fighters from northern Iraq are also battling ISIS to keep the country from falling into the hands of the extremists, while Iraq's army is coming up from the south to meet the oncoming wave of insurgents overrunning towns. The U.S. is now sending almost 300 troops to help secure American facilities, including the U.S. Embassy. Well, just like every war, the fighting in Iraq is creating a refugee crisis. Hundreds of thousands of civilians are seeking shelter in camps across the region. CBN's Chris Mitchell reports from northern Iraq.
The stunning blitzkrieg by ISIS left thousands of broken lives in its wake.
This is one of the many refugee camps set up in the region. This one is just a few days old, and literally within the region, hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced. This camp is about a 15-minute drive from the ISIS forces, and most of the people here are from the city of Nineveh. And many of the men and women, boys and girls, have seen the worst of the fighting.
I saw people without hats on the street and people who have been killed in the streets. I saw this with my own eyes. When they got into Nineveh, they entered the houses and killed whole families. They don't care about the ages or the humanity. They only care about themselves.
That carnage drove these people away. Many refused to be interviewed by us on camera because, believe it or not, many expect to go back. Others, even some young teenage girls, told us ISIS would kill them if they returned. Now they have to adjust to another life.
In the region, according to the government, they said there was 100,000 coming to Erbil and 500,000 IDPs across the country. Yeah. But now this is a really serious crisis and a challenge for the whole Iraq. So we, international organizations, are here to support everyone who are in needs in this crisis.
Camp life reduces life to basics. People need water. They clamor for ice. Kids cool off in the 100-degree heat. People fight boredom. Yet they did survive the butchery of ISIS. Shah Alan served in Iraqi intelligence and interviewed captured ISIS soldiers. He found out they have a larger agenda than Iraq.
We know that ISIS is not dreaming just to rule over Iraq, but they are dreaming to go to Europe and rule over all of the European continent. ISIS is dreaming to rule over the whole world.
The agenda of ISIS and this refugee camp are just two signs Iraq and the Middle East may never be the same, and like Humpty Dumpty, may never be put together again. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, on the border between ISIS and Kurdish Iraq.
At least 14 people are dead after a suicide bomber attacked a World Cup viewing site in northeast Nigeria. The explosives were packed in a tricycle taxi and driven into the outdoor site in the capital of Yobe State. No one claimed responsibility, but police suspect the radical Islamic Boko Haram terrorist group. Boko Haram is waging war against the government in its efforts to establish an Islamic state in northern Nigeria. Sudanese government bombs have hit a Doctors Without Borders facility in northern Sudan. The aid group says an aerial bombing over a Sudanese village partially destroyed one of its hospitals. The bombing wounded 5 from the village and 1 staffer. The nonprofit says it is shocked that its medical facility was hit, especially since it is clearly identified with a flag and a cross on the roof. Sudan's military is fighting soldiers in that region who are aligned with South Sudan. World Cup soccer in Brazil isn't all just fun and games. One of the top issues is what's happening off the field, sex trafficking. There's concern sex tourists will abuse thousands of young people and children, literally in the shadows of stadiums. But Operation Blessing is on the scene in Brazil, working to fight this abuse with a new documentary.
The World Cup in Brazil is one of the biggest sporting events in the world, attracting more than 500,000 fans. Unfortunately, it is also a huge magnet for sex traffickers, who often target vulnerable children.
I used to seek out girls from out of state, good-looking girls. I would look at their financial situation through pictures and comments online. Then I would talk to them and offer them a better life.
CBN's Operation Blessing is helping fight trafficking through its documentary called One Real, The Other Side of the Coin. The film cites a government report which states some 40,000 children and adolescents disappear in Brazil every year. 15% of those cases go unsolved.
We're trying to raise the stigma against this and educate the people coming in for the World Cup that this isn't just a service you can buy without consequences, that these are children trapped in a hell.
The film is translated into several languages, and Operation Blessing volunteers are traveling cross-country on a special bus, showing it in all 12 World Cup match cities. Operation Blessing is also delivering food and bags of hope to trafficking victims on the streets of Brazil.
And Operation Blessing is also partnering with shelters to provide a safe place for trafficking victims. Dr. Mehmet Oz testified before Congress Tuesday in an effort to, quote, drain the swamp of marketers using his name to peddle weight loss pills. Senate Chairman Claire McCaskill scolded the celebrity television host for claims he made about weight loss supplements on the Dr. Oz show.
I'm concerned that you are melding medical advice, news, and entertainment in a way that harms consumers.
I don't sell anything. If they see my name, my picture, or any part of the show involved in an advertisement, do not buy the product.
Dr. Oz acknowledged that while his language has been, quote, flowery, he has never endorsed a specific company or brand. Meanwhile, top public health officials are calling on state and federal government officials to recognize obesity as a disease. The former U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary is asking Congress to pass legislation that would require Medicare to cover obesity medicine for seniors. Coming up, caught in the middle, why Russia is putting Ukraine's orphans in harm's way.
In 2008, my husband Gary departed for heaven. I was still grieving. And then to find out I had cancer, I began praying, God, how do I do this? Where do I do this? Cancer Treatment Centers of America was the place. Dr. Neelam outlined a plan that would take care of my mind and my body, and she prayed with me.
For Bible-believing Christians, we're able to pray with them in a much deeper way as they begin to really rely upon their faith.
At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, we believe in the power of faith and prayer as indispensable allies in the fight against complex and advanced stage cancer.
I'm back in Telluride on the mountain skiing. I feel strong and healthy.
Advanced medicine and technology.
And I am a survivor.
The warm embrace of the Spirit and the power of prayer.
These are happy tears.
Please go to cancercenter.com/faith. Appointments available now. Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Care that never quits.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. If you're on Medicare and have knee pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost. Friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. Call the Health Hotline right now for details toll-free. Our friendly representatives are standing by now to take your call. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. You may be eligible to receive these items and more at little or no cost to you as well. Call right now for details toll-free.
Operators are standing by. Call 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143. Again, 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143.
Ukraine's president is calling for a ceasefire with Russian separatists in the east. Interfax news agency reports Petro Poroshenko made the proposal earlier today. He said his troops will halt fighting to give the pro-Russian forces an opportunity to lay down their arms or leave the country. He says it's the first step in a peace plan to wind down the conflict. The proposal came after Poroshenko and Russian President Vladimir Putin discussed a ceasefire over the phone. Ukraine's orphans are caught in the middle of the war between Russian separatists and the government. The Ukraine government and Christian ministries are working to evacuate orphans from eastern Ukraine. They want them out of the line of fire, but they also want to keep them from falling under Russian control. Pro-Russian forces have blocked several planned evacuations. In Donetsk, separatists seized 16 orphans from a children's shelter and took them to a refugee camp in the Russian Federation. They were later returned after an international outcry. Natalia Homyak is director of Orphans Promise, and she has 4 children, 2 of whom are adopted from Ukraine. She joins us now. Natalia, first of all, why did the separatists prevent these children from leaving Ukraine?
Well, it's the issue of control. They are trying to claim that this is their territory and the people there are theirs and the children are government property. So they are saying, well, this is ours. They are ours. It's just the issue of control, simply.
Now, are orphans in eastern Ukraine at risk? And if so, why?
Oh, yes, because actually everybody in eastern Ukraine currently is at risk. The media, if you see what Russia is showing, they are really supporting terrorist attacks there, and they are trying to claim what's not theirs. And orphans, as I said, because they do not have any mother or father. Many of them may have a mother or father but that don't have rights, or that relinquish their rights because of different reasons, or their rights were taken away. But anyways, children are always at risk. When adults are playing their big games, children are the ones who are suffering. And Orphans Promise is really involved in supporting different non-governmental organizations, and especially churches and different ministries, to help evacuate the children, and not just the children, but people who are willing. Families are evacuating, mothers with children, because it's not safe. You don't want your children to be exposed. So we are facilitating evacuation of these people. We're helping ministries who are helping to take these children into safe places in the West.
How can we help these Ukrainian orphans, Natalia? It's so important.
Well, first of all, pray. Pray, and if God puts it on your heart to support CBN, as I said, CBN's Orphans Promise is doing a lot to support different denominations of churches who are opening their buildings, who are encouraging their congregations to open their houses. People are putting mattresses up just in the churches, in the church buildings, because their houses have been opened, and they just have people, sleeping on the floors, children sleeping on the floors. We are providing, because you've got to feed them, you've got to clothe them. I mean, literally, they are just leaving everything behind, getting on buses and being evacuated into Western Ukraine, into central Ukraine. And as I said, the churches are opening their doors, the Christian families are opening their doors, and we do everything that we can to provide what they need, starting from food, clothing, shelter. The children need to be educated. We're trying to provide psychological services, counseling, just to help them get through this trauma. We're helping to relocate the families, get them new employment. I mean, if today you were taken from your home because there is war there, you can't wait indefinitely. This has been going on for over 2 months now, and we are hoping everything will be over by the end of the summer, when the children need to go back to school. Right now, we are creating these situations where children are in summer camps, doing vacation Bible schools and something.
Natalia, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Up next, meet a beautiful young woman named Rupa. Hear how she went from picking trash to forced prostitution, then watch her amazing transformation. That's next.
Stop! Living with hair loss, that is. Losing your hair is no fun, and no one wants to be bald, but there is hope.
Getting my hair back was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm happy with the way I look now. I'm very excited about my hair.
I feel beautiful.
I love my hair.
Hair Club offers all proven hair loss solutions backed by our commitment to satisfaction guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied with the solution you choose, Hair Club will apply the purchase price to another proven hair loss solution or transplant more hair at no charge.
It was the best thing I've ever done.
It looks good on me. Call in the next 5 minutes to get your free brochure at no obligation. It will tell you everything you need to know about your hair loss problem, and it's free if you call now.
I am more pleased than what I had even imagined.
I at least look, I would say, 5 years younger.
I'm 52, and I look better now than I did when I was in my 40s.
I feel great.
And that's not all. The first 100 people who call will also receive $250 off any hair loss solution from Hair Club. Call now.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. If you're on Medicare and have knee pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost. Friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. Call the Health Hotline right now for details toll-free. Our friendly representatives are standing by now to take your call. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. You may be eligible to receive these items and more at little or no cost to you as well. Call right now for details toll-free.
Operators are standing by. Call 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143. Again, 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143.
Two teenage girls were recently gang raped and left hanging dead in a tree. There was very little outrage because this happened in India, where crimes against women are all too common, especially women like the murdered girls who were part of India's untouchables. George Thomas brings us this story of hope about one such woman who broke the cycle of abuse.
It's been said the most beautiful people are those who've known defeat, known suffering, known struggle, and have found their way out of the depths. Rupa Raju is one of them.
I've had a difficult life since my childhood and experienced more horrible things than most people my age.
You see, at a young age, Rupa was forced by her parents to join the ranks of India's so-called rag pickers. These are men, women, and young children who rummage through filthy garbage heaps in the cities of India, looking for anything that can be recycled and sold. Plastic, bottles, metal parts, pieces of glass, rotting discarded food.
My day started at 4 or 5 in the morning, and I picked trash for 10 to 12 hours.
On a good day, she'd earn about $2, and that was a good day. Here on the streets, where dogs were her only companion, and millions of squirming maggots, flies, rats, and crows a constant distraction, she'd compete with other rag pickers for a few scraps.
When I got older, my mother told me I wasn't bringing in enough money picking trash, so I was forced to sleep with men to bring more money. I became a prostitute.
With tears welling up in her eyes, she describes the rage she felt toward her parents.
I thought of running away. I didn't trust my parents. How could they do such a thing to me? I was angry. I wanted to kill them. I wanted something terrible to happen to them.
Rupa is a Dalit, a so-called untouchable. Indian society labels Dalits lowest of the low, impure, less than human. Almost all rag pickers are Dalits. And like her, many young girls end up as prostitutes or get caught in a web of human trafficking.
When I think about it, I begin to cry.
But that's the past. Tonight's graduation night, and Rupa is all smiles.
The Rupa of old is not the Rupa you see today. I cannot begin to explain to you what God has done in my life.
She has God and Jivalin Kumar to thank for her transformation and this momentous evening.
We really look forward to this night because we see our women being liberated, being emancipated.
Jivalin Kumar runs Tarika Women's Center, a Christian ministry that takes in, rehabilitates, and empowers scores of young women at risk. Almost 2 years ago, Rupa came to the center looking for help. Here, she got counseling, learned how to speak English, took sewing and computer classes, and eventually had her dignity restored. She also met dozens of other young women like herself who had similar life experiences.
What I like to personally communicate to them is that I would never ever give up on any one of those women, no matter how many times they fall, because I know it is a struggle for them.
Today, the Tarika Center is just one of a handful of Christian ministries operating here in India, trying desperately to rescue thousands of Dalit women from human trafficking and sexual bondage. For many of these victims, such ministries are a lifeline to a better future. Rupa says it was at the center she discovered with great delight her worth in God's eyes.
I come from a Hindu background. I knew very little about Jesus Christ. When I came to Tarika, I started reading the Bible and then understood what freedom really means and how much I mean to God.
Ultimately, it's the Bible's view of them that Kumar says brings lasting transformation.
They can't believe it because all these years they've been told that they are lower than animals. And here we are telling them that they are created in the image of God. And that just hits them, that just blows them away.
On a recent Friday evening, Rupa joined 105 women on stage for a graduation ceremony honoring their completion of an 18-month course at Tarika. And sitting in the audience that night were Rupa's mother and father. They told CBN News this was the proudest moment of their lives.
The Tarika Center has done a great job. My daughter is a different person.
I feel bad for the things we did to her, but now I want her to study well and have a good future.
And perhaps it's this image of Rupa holding her father's hand that speaks volumes of one life transformed by the power of the gospel. She told CBN News later she's forgiven her parents for forcing her into prostitution.
Every night before I go to bed, I thank God for Tarika Center. I thank God for rescuing me from my past.
These days, she works as a confidence sales assistant in a large department store located on the most famous shopping street in the city. Same street, by the way, where she once picked trash. Her real desire, though, is to minister to broken and abused young women.
There are many people who took care of me and showed love to me. I want to do the same for others. That will make me happy.
George Thomas, CBN News, Bangalore, India.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Finally today, a family in Peru is receiving much needed help thanks to Operation Blessing. Bella has been running a water taxi service along the Amazon River for many years, but she lost her workboat in an accident, and when she rented another one, it got stolen just a few weeks later. Bella took odd jobs to pay the debt on the stolen boat and provide meals for her children, but there was never enough. When Operation Blessing learned the family had no food or water, teams delivered several weeks' worth of groceries to their home. They also gave Bella a new boat to restart her business and even help pay off the debt from the stolen boat. And you can find out more about how Operation Blessing is helping people around the world. Just go to their website at ob.org. That's going to do it for now on CBN News Today. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. And tell us what you think about the stories you've seen today. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. We hope you join us next time. Have a great day and God bless.